I have to say, I want to thank everybody who sent me messages telling me that they heard my Sirius XM takeover this past weekend. And I was so excited because I got to live my DJ fantasy by hosting an entire afternoon on the Heart and Soul channel. That was so much fun. Because I haven't done radio since I used to work, Kim Whitley and I, my other girlfriend, my best friend, we used to work with Tom Joyner on the radio in the morning. So I haven't done that since I was with Tom Joyner. Then I sat down with my girl, Bevy Smith, for a special Bevelations Town Hall. And it was in front of a studio audience on Andy Cohen's Radio Andy channel. So during the interview, Bevy asked me when I knew I wouldn't have to go back to my job as a legal secretary. Here's my answer. Take a look.
When did it dawn on you that, oh, I'll never have to go and get another office job in my life? What gig was it that solidified it for you in your mind? Oh, I really do this thing.
I think it was probably when I started, maybe before I did 30 Rock. Because after Friends, I had to go back to being a legal secretary. I was living on couches.
Wow.
I think.
Wait, after Friends?
After Friends. I actually worked for David Schwimmer's dad, who was a lawyer. And he used to bring all the other lawyers in the office and say, this is my secretary. She was just on Friends. It was horrible. You know I'm being depressed. I lived in the jungle in L.A. I had to take the bus. It was horrible.
Ooh, from Friends, from like the most iconic TV sitcom.
I'm Rhonda, these aren't real. And then I had to go get on the bus to go home. Oh my goodness. You know, John, the thing is I struggled. I think a lot of people, you see people on TV or film and you go, oh, they've always been that way. They've always dressed that way. And it literally, I was a legal secretary and it's a part in LA called The Jungle, which is off of Crenshaw and King. And it's where they filmed Training Day, Denzel Washington over there. That's where I used to live. And then I was homeless for a while. I was staying on different people's couches and I had my stuff in the pillowcase.
Oh.
And I would go to West Angeles Church of God in Christ because I was so depressed because I felt like nothing was gonna happen for me. I would have these gigs. I did a role on Friends. Then I had to go back to being a legal secretary and I was so depressed. But the one thing that held me is I always had a dream that it was not going to be like that. I always had this dream. I had to hold on to the dream. And sometimes you can't be present to the struggle because you've got to focus on that dream. And I would be sitting at the bus stop at like 1, 2 in the morning. That's why I can't take the bus here in New York because it brings back like all of these memories of me sitting at the bus stop, getting out of comedy clubs at 1, 2 in the morning. I went to a comedy club one time, I was struggling, and I'd taken the bus, the last bus left at 11 o'clock from this comedy club, and I was sitting there and Marlon and Shawn Wayans walked in. And whenever a big name comes in, they bump everybody. And I waited till about 1 in the morning, and there was only a couple people left, but I still got on that stage to make them laugh. Even though Marlon and Shawn, and I was like, I really like you, I'm such a fan. It was like, yeah, okay. And I had to walk. I had to walk a long way just to get back home. And I just remember going, I don't have any money, but that dream of one day being like Marlon and Shawn Wayans just held me, of one day being a comedian and headlining comedy clubs. So, literally, yeah. When I sit here, I don't take doing this for granted because you got to remember where you came from to be able to be grateful for where you are. So when I get the designer's name wrong and I don't get it right, I just remember I had 5 pairs of underwear in a pillowcase, 2 shirts, and 3 pairs of pants that I was walking around on. And when I would ask people, thank you. I just remember that. And I remember everybody who let me who let me sleep on the couch because I didn't know where I was gonna go. Now, even though I say I struggle, that also was my fault because I didn't pay my rent and I was getting evicted. I do have to say that. I was getting evicted all the time. Because I was in this religion, they said that the end of the world was gonna come, so I never paid my bills. That's for another show, y'all. So anyway.